here.
Mr. Rodriguez, nice to meet you.
Hi. Nice to meet you.
Albino Rodriguez. Andres Falco.
Hi.
Victor.
Perhaps we want to do it.
Yes.
Hello.
Hi.
Thank you so much for your time. We know that your agenda is tight. We want to talk a little bit about some important issues that concern our community. One of the ways that is occurring recently in Montrose, we have heard about from many people, we have received calls about this issue that is hurting the community. We know about the restaurant, for example, that is getting that is not giving the workers the paycheck, and this is devastating for them because they need to put the bread in their table for their families. So we want your support for this issue. This is terrible for the community.
Do we have a bill? Is that?
Yes, yeah. So we have some information that shows you, but it's House Bill 1296. It's the full earned pay for Colorado workers. It's a wage theft hurts all of us.
I haven't heard it yet. Keep my eyes
So
open.
right, so this is something that it's actually not just Montrose, but across the region, across the state. But folks are, we get calls every week from people saying, "Hey, I just finished a job that I spent the last 2 months on. They owe me $23,000. I'm not being paid, or else pay me a check. I go to cash it at the bank, and there's no money in the bank, or else my boss hasn't paid me, and I keep calling him, and he says, call me again, I'm going to report you to immigration police, and I know you're undocumented." So those types of things are happening. So we're hoping that, hopefully if this comes to fruition, we can have your support for this. Albina, thank you.
Yeah. Also, we want to just talk about another issues about coming seminar Montrose. And my son just turned 18 years old, and I tried to get a driver license. He born here, and I went to the tram and do that, and they said, well, we need to get an ID, and he has only the school ID, and they said, it's not we need to get something from the state, and he didn't have anything, of course, from the state. So we tried to get an ID, and we went to get a birth certificate. We gave it to them, and they said, "Now we need to get an ID from you, prove it." And I was able to do it. I showed them a driver license, but there is a case like Carmelita. She has something to tell us.
Yes. Well, I went currently to go try to get my permit to drive, and I went twice. The first time they told me I couldn't because my parents, they're illegal. And the second time I went, they told me the same thing. And I want to get my permit back because my sister and my brother are illegal too, and it's just worrying, I worry about them, and I want to drive them around because I don't want them to get pulled over, and I just want to get a permit, but they won't allow me to.
Basically, the issue is, like myself, I was able to do it, but in her case, it's not possible. How is it possible, not if she born here, can get an ID?
I don't know. I don't know if they gave you a reason or you.
Because we, like the fathers, can prove I have an ID. That's why I said, well, we have only but you need to prove with the state ID, proving you are the person you are saying. So how we can show she is the person she is saying with the birth certificate?
And so you have your birth certificate?
Yes.
Yeah. I don't know why. I mean, I'd have to ask, can you answer, is there a law that, I don't know why
Not-
an individual would have to show.
we're not aware of. So it's happening. Like some people, like we've seen cases where youth who are born here, they've been able to get it in other cases. So we're trying to prove is there discrimination, but it's happening. Like we've heard of cases in Gunnison and Durango, Montrose, Grand Junction, all around, and we haven't been able to figure it out.
So the Department of Revenue handles driver's license, and I'd be happy to, I need some specifics in terms of your, I mean, I don't want to put you in an awkward spot either. On the other hand, I need enough detail to be able to ask the Department of Revenue, why is it different in different parts of the state? And I'm happy to check in.
Okay, so if we follow up with your office with more
Yeah,
information.
sure, send me an email. And again, if you don't want to give particular names, but you want to say, here's two different results.
Okay.
How did that happen? It should be the same one way or the other.
Okay.
And I don't know if you've got your own birth certificate. I don't know what difference it makes, whether other family members have it. But I don't know if there's a rule or a law. So just me saying that doesn't mean, if you knew that there was something else that would be helpful to know.
Okay, we'll follow up with that.
Is there a mechanism by which the state can enforce the civil rights of our children in school?
I'm not sure what you're referring to.
Children are discriminated against in school because of their Hispanic ancestry.
I'm sorry, because Hispanic ancestry, I would
Yeah.
assume so.
Now, do you have any direct knowledge of such mechanism?
No.
Okay.
I mean, is there something, the way it works is constituents ask me to look into something, so this is the first I've heard of that. If you've got a particular circumstance that you want
Do you
looked
have a card
into,
that I can refer to?
in my cubicle,
Okay,
I'd
fine.
be happy to.
Okay.
Okay.
No, porque lo que encontramos es que nuestros hijos los maltratan y los echan al lado y los echan atrás solamente porque son hispanos. Y cuando son un poco más inteligentes, entonces los culpan porque son hispanos también. Es una locura. Y el Estado no hace nada.
Well, we know.
Okay.
Well, we know you're super busy. We were wondering if you're going to be back in your district anytime. I know it's
After May,
legislative after
and
May.
I would love to meet with you in Montrose or Olathe or wherever. Yeah, sure.
Is,
We're talking about May, we finish in May. I get to go home, I only go home on the weekends. So,
Is there a specific date you may be able to see? Is that what we're...
if you send me an email, I don't know what I'm doing tomorrow. So I'm not trying to push off, but certainly, but,
So we can
yeah,
arrange.
arrange it. I'm happy to do it, talk to people in Montrose. I've met with tons of people on all sorts of issues, so I'd be happy. In fact, I'd like to. When I went to Northside Elementary, the clinic, I don't know, I think it was in December or something like that, and saw that. So I like to go places and see what's actually happening and who's getting health care and the school issue. I'm happy to look into that, but in order to help you, I need particulars so I can contact the state agencies and say, this seems to be happening, why is it happening, fix it if it's wrong, that sort of thing. Okay?
That is exactly what we need, from you, just to support, what we're asking.
Well, I can't always, I always have
At least we can
constituents
try.
on both sides, but I will always listen and try and figure out what's going on and fix anything that I can that is not following the law. So, and again, I'm happy to go get my cards if you want to follow me. I'll show you my cubicle and you'll see why I'm meeting up here instead of in there.
Actually, we are happy to be here.
Okay, okay.
Yes, we
All right.
appreciate your time.
Anything else? Okay.
Yeah, but we'll be in touch. We'll follow up with you.